Hey everyone, welcome back to episode number 2 of Whiskey's the 3 You Need. So the premise behind this is to highlight 3 bourbons or whiskeys from each distillery. So today we're going to be highlighting Wild Turkey Distillery. This is a brand for me that is tried and true, one of my favorite distilleries and what it is that they do in today's day and age. So again, we're going to go over 3 bourbons that in my opinion are the 3 that you must need. So if you're getting into bourbon, take a look at this. These 3 will do you right. They will offer you some different kind of flavor profiles. But again, I think in terms of overall value in today's day and age, Wild Turkey is one of the leaders in value whiskey, in my opinion. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this. I'll give you my first number 1 whiskey from Wild Turkey that I think you need. If you didn't know, Wild Turkey 101 right out of the gate. This for me is maybe one of the most versatile bourbons in all of bourbon in today's market. And again, with this at 101 proof, already comes out of the gate, nice proof point. Value-wise, you're looking at for a $7.50, anywhere from that $22 to maybe $25 price point. If you want to jump up to the 1 liter, you're maybe into that $30 price point. But again, I think for what it is you're getting, a bourbon that is typically in that, we'll say 7-ish year range. Again, I said value before. This is a bourbon that I feel at that price point is not only sippable at 101 proof, nice ages like I said before. If you want to use it in cocktails, again, I think this is where the proof point really fits in extremely well. Nice kind of spicy profile oftentimes Wild Turkey will have. So I think it holds up both in the cocktail and offers a little bit of that richness and complexity that you hope for in a bourbon. So right out of the gate, my first whiskey that you must have from Wild Turkey is the Wild Turkey 101. Let's go ahead and move on to the number 2 bourbon that you must have from Wild Turkey. So here we are, number 2, Russell's Reserve Single Barrel. If you're unfamiliar with this, make yourself very familiar with this. Again, I think when it comes down to overall value in terms of what it is you're getting at a price point, a flavor profile, ages on a bourbon, this hits and fits all of those categories. So let's first talk about availability. Generally speaking, availability in the vast majority of areas. Somewhere you should be able to find a standard Russell's Reserve single barrel somewhere on the shelves. Price-wise, anywhere from, again, depending on your market, $55, maybe $65, depending on, again, your availability, your area, and all of that. So I know the prices will fluctuate sometimes with these, but generally speaking, you're anywhere from that $55 to maybe $65 price point. Now, generally speaking, ages on these, from what I've seen and what they kind of put out, you're on average, I'm going to say these range anywhere from about that 8, maybe upwards of 10 years, depending on the single barrels that they're doing. And with the proof point of this at 110 proof, maybe 8 to 10 year range for the vast majority of these single barrels, for me, this makes this not only just a value bourbon for Wild Turkey, this makes this for me an incredible value in all of bourbon based on, again, those categories: availability, price point, the ages basically within this bottle, and just the overall flavor profile that it has to offer. So for me, my number 2 must-have bourbon from Wild Turkey is the Russell's Reserve Single Barrel. With that, let's go ahead and move on to the number 3 must-have bourbon from Wild Turkey. We're talking Wild Turkey Rare Breed. Again, I had mentioned just previously about the incredible value that the Russell's Reserve Single Barrel has. This may be even a tick higher in terms of what it is you're getting value-wise. So again, if we're going to talk about overall value, let's first talk about, generally speaking, availability. For the most part, and generally speaking, you should be able to go to a general liquor store and find a Wild Turkey Rare Breed. Roughly ages on these, again, similar to some of the Russells, maybe slightly younger, anywhere from maybe that 6 to 9 year range is oftentimes what you'll see with some of the Rare Breed. On occasion, maybe you'll find some that are slightly higher, but you should be expecting those kind of 6, 7, 8, 9 year bourbons to be within these blends. One of the difference between this and the Russell's Reserve Single Barrel is this is going to be their barrel proof expression. So You're not going to be adding any secondary water. They are dumping these, filtering them, and whatever the proofs are that they come out for each one of the rare breed batches, then that's what you've got. So you're going to get probably a little bit more richness, a little more complexity, maybe a slightly different profile because we're dealing with proof, less water than we were with the 110 proof Russell's Reserve single barrel. So this offers, again, I think in my opinion, maybe the best of what it is that Wild Turkey does on a standard basis. Now we're excluding some of the limited editions and some of their more highly priced bourbons because these three, for the most part, are ones you should be able to go to just about any liquor store and find on the shelf. So it is making these, in my opinion, the three bourbons that you must have from Wild Turkey for that reason in particular. You can go to the store, buy these. They're not overly cost prohibitive. Again, this anywhere from maybe about $50 upwards of $70. So this will range a little bit, again, dependent on your market and the availability. So that's why I wanted to include the rare breed from Wild Turkey, because I think overall, as you kind of worked your way from the Wild Turkey 101 to the Russell's Reserve single barrel, to then the Wild Turkey rare breed. This gives you the evolution of what it is, in my opinion, that Wild Turkey kind of has to offer, generally speaking. If you wanted to throw another one in the mix that kind of fits between the Russell's Reserve single barrel and the rare breed, you can maybe even factor in a slightly lower proof bourbon, which is going to be the Wild Turkey Kentucky Spirit. So if you're in between these, or you can't find one or both of these, and you do see something called Wild Turkey Kentucky Spirit, definitely give that one a try as well. I think that's another one that is kind of a fan favorite. That's another one that I feel that overall is slightly underrated in the overall Wild Turkey profile. So if you're a Wild Turkey fan, let me know in the comments. Let me know your thoughts on my suggestions. Are these the three that you feel are must-haves from Wild Turkey? In my opinion, this again gives you that really nice evolution of what the profiles are that Wild Turkey offers on a daily basis. So there you have it. There are the three bourbons from Wild Turkey that I feel are must-haves. Again, these are going to give you that evolution of these profiles that oftentimes Wild Turkey is very, very well known for. Again, generally speaking, readily available for the most part, great price points, great overall kind of ages that they're using for these bourbons. So in today's day and age, I think these still offer up, in my opinion, a great value for what it is you're getting profile-wise for all three of them. So again, Wild Turkey 101, Russell's Reserve single barrel, and Wild Turkey rare breed. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to episode number 2 of Whiskey's The Three You Need. Greatly appreciate all of your support. If you'd like to follow me, you can on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all of those places at My Bourbon Journey. If you'd like to help support the channel and become part of the Mash and Journey Whiskey Club, make sure you check out that Patreon link in the description below. And as always, remember, it's about the journey and not the destination. Find yourself something from Wild Turkey. Cheers.